You're lying in bed, lights off, phone 6 inches from your face, scrolling through your bank app. You see the grocery store charge from this afternoon, $147. For milk, eggs, and bread. Except it wasn't just milk, eggs, and bread. Your stomach tightens because you can't even remember deciding to buy half that stuff. You were supposed to save money this month. You had a plan. And somehow, a 15-minute trip turned into another week where you're wondering where all your money went. If you ever stared at a grocery receipt and felt that pit in your stomach, if you've ever wondered how 3 items turn into 12 bags and a $100 charge, you need to hear this. Because what I'm about to show you isn't about willpower or discipline. It's about a $250,000 extraction happening so slowly you don't even see it. Quick thing before we get into this. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't personal financial advice. I'm Mike, and I'm just some guy who spends way too much time thinking about why a simple milk run turns into a $100 extraction event. If you're making big financial decisions, talk to someone who actually knows your situation. But here's what I want you to understand. That grocery store you think you're just shopping in, you're not shopping. You're navigating a psychological maze designed exactly like casino, and you're losing. Let me show you how much. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American household spends about $600 a month on groceries. Seems reasonable, right? But there's a catch. Research from the Food Marketing Institute found that 60 to 70% of grocery purchases are unplanned. Items that weren't on any list. Things you didn't intend to buy when you walked through those sliding doors. Quick math. If you're spending $600 a month and 60% of that is impulse purchases, that's $360 a month in stuff you didn't plan for. Now, not all impulse purchases are waste. Sometimes you genuinely forgot to list something you needed. So let's be super conservative and say only half of those impulse purchases are truly unnecessary. That's $180 a month in pure extraction spending. $2,160 a year. Over a 30-year adult life. That's $64,800 spent on things you never intended to buy. But here's the part that makes me mad. If you had invested that $180 a month instead at an 8% return, do you know what it would become? Approximately $263,000. $250,000. Extracted through psychological manipulation, one checkout lane candy bar at a time. And you didn't even see it happening. Here's what you need to understand. Nothing in that store is where it's by accident. Every product, every shelf, every aisle, every scent, every sound has been positioned based on decades of research into consumer behavior by actual behavioral scientists and retail psychologists. The foundational principle is simple. Make customers walk past as much merchandise as possible before they reach what they came for. This is why milk, eggs, and bread, the 3 items people buy most frequently, are located in the back corner of virtually every grocery store in America. It's not because refrigeration is cheaper there. It's not because of supply chain logistics. It's because forcing you to walk through the entire store to reach essentials guarantees you'll pass hundreds of impulse buy opportunities on your journey. According to a study in the Journal of Marketing, shoppers who traveled through more of the store spent significantly more per trip, even when controlling for list size. The path to your milk isn't inefficient. It's optimized for their revenue, not your convenience. But there's a catch. The maze doesn't stop at the floor plan. It continues at every single shelf level. Products placed at eye level, between 4 and 5 feet off the ground, sell significantly better than products placed higher or lower. According to retail analytics from Nielsen, eye-level products can see sales increases of 35% or more compared to the same product on bottom shelves. Grocery stores charge manufacturers premium slotting fees for eye-level placement, fees that can run into the millions of dollars for major brands. Here's what that means for you. The products you see first, the products that require no bending or stretching, are not the best values. They're the products that paid the most for your attention. The store brand pasta that costs 40% less than Barilla, bottom shelf. You have to crouch down to find it. The name brand cereal with the highest profit margin, directly in front of your children's eyes. Because product placement for kids' items is calculated at their eye level, not yours. Let me say it plainly. The store doesn't see you as a customer to serve. It sees you as a psychology to exploit. The manipulation extends to every sensory experience, following a playbook borrowed from casino design. Casinos have no windows and no clocks because they don't want to know how long you've been inside. Grocery stores adopted the same principle. Go look for a clock on the wall. You won't find one. Time awareness creates urgency, and urgency leads to faster shopping with fewer impulse purchases. The lighting is calibrated. Bright in pharmacy sections to convey trust. Warm in bakery sections to trigger appetite. The music? Slower tempo makes shoppers move slowly and spend more. A study from the Journal of Consumer Research found slow background music increased sales by 38% compared to fast-tempo music. The scent of fresh bread triggers hunger hormones. The misting on produce makes vegetables glisten. Even cart size is manipulation. Carts have grown 40% larger over decades. Research found doubling cart size increases purchases by 40%. When your cart looks empty, your brain tells you to fill it. That's your brain protecting completion bias. You want the cart to look right. And the system loves it because every additional item is margin they extracted. The checkout lane is the most ruthlessly optimized extraction zone. Checkout lanes are deliberately narrow. You're trapped in a queue, surrounded by high-margin impulse items. Candy, magazines, gum, batteries. The average wait time is 3 to 5 minutes. That time has been monetized. Products here have profit margins of 40 to 60%, far above average grocery margins. You're tired after 15 minutes of micro decisions. Your kid is whining. You see the Snickers bar. That's your brain protecting relief. You just want this over, and that candy feels like a reward. The system engineered exact conditions to break your resistance at your most vulnerable moment. Listen to me. This isn't a failure of willpower. This isn't a lack of discipline. If you've been blaming yourself for years because you can't stick to a grocery list, I need you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. You are human. And you are navigating an adversarial environment designed by psychologists with billion-dollar budgets to defeat your intentions. The store is not neutral terrain. It's enemy territory. And every trip without awareness is a trip where you lose. I can already hear some of you thinking, but I only overspend by $20 or $30 per trip. That's not a big deal. Fair question. Here's why it matters. Quick math. If you prevent just $30 in impulse purchases per week, one trip, that's $120 a month. $1,440 a year. Over 30 years, invested at 8% return, that becomes approximately $200,000. That's not motivation. That's mechanics. Small leaks sink big ships. And this leak is invisible because it happens in $3 candy bars and $8 artisan crackers. Here's how you fight back. 5 specific counter moves. Not motivation. Actual friction you can install. Counter move number 1. The pre-sorted list. Organize your list by store section before leaving. Produce, dairy, meat, frozen. Navigate efficiently without wandering. Enter through the side entrance if possible, avoiding main entrance promotional displays. Counter move number 2. Never shop hungry. Research from Cornell showed hungry shoppers buy significantly more high-calorie items even when not on their list. Hunger hijacks judgment. Eat before you shop. Every time. Counter move number 3. Shop the perimeter first. Whole Foods live on the perimeter. Processed high-margin products dominate center aisles. If your list doesn't need center aisles, skip them. Even when you do, shop perimeter first with a clear head. Counter move number 4. Look up and look down. Eye-level products are high margin. Better values hide above or below. The store banks on your laziness. Quick math. Switching to upper/lower shelf brands saves $15 per trip average. That's $60 monthly. $720 yearly, about $106,000 over 30 years invested at 8%. For bending your knees. Counter move number 5. Minimize checkout exposure. Use self-checkout. Pick lanes without candy if you must use staff lanes. Some stores offer family-friendly lanes without impulse items. Minimize time stationary and surrounded by extraction opportunities. Get in, get out, Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Person A shops once a week, no list hungry, wanders through every aisle, grabs eye-level products, waits in a candy-filled checkout lane, spends $150 per trip. That's $180 per month in unnecessary spending. Person B shops once a week with a pre-sorted list. After eating, moves through specific sections only, looks up and down at shelves, uses self-checkout, spends $100 per trip. That's $60 per month in unnecessary spending. The difference? $120 per month. $1,440 per year. Person A loses $64,800 over 30 years. Person B loses $21,600 over 30 years. The gap? $43,200 in raw spending. But invested at 8% return, Person B ends up with approximately $168,000 more than Person A. Same income, same store, different awareness. The difference isn't that Person B found a secret coupon. It's that they answered one boring question every single trip. What am I here to buy? And how do I get it without getting robbed? Right now, you probably see yourself as someone who shops reasonably. Maybe a few impulse items here and there, but nothing excessive. That identity feels accurate because you don't add up the cumulative cost. But there's another way to see it. Every time you enter a grocery store, you're walking into an environment designed by psychologists, optimized by data scientists, and engineered to make your intentions fail. The milk is in the back because they want you to walk past temptation. The expensive products are at eye level because they want you to reach for them without thinking. The checkout lanes are narrow because they want you trapped and bored and vulnerable. The cart is huge because they want to look empty. The music is slow because they want you to linger. The bread smells good because they want you to feel hungry. The maze is not a coincidence. It's a weapon, and the only defense is to see it clearly before it sees you. You've gone from someone who just shops for groceries to someone who understands they're in a psychological battlefield every time they walk through those sliding doors. That's not paranoia. That's pattern recognition. And pattern recognition is how you stop losing. Shop with a list. Shop with a plan. Shop like you're navigating enemy territory. Because you are your future self. The one 10 years from now, 20 years from now, desperately needs you to see the maze for what it is. They need you to understand that the $263,000 isn't an exaggeration. It's math. And it's either in your account or theirs. I've spent way too much time thinking about this stuff. So you don't have to. If this changed how you see your grocery store, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And drop a comment below with the one impulse item that always gets you. I want to see how similar everyone's traps are